Hi everyone, today I will be discussing on how the ACT should not determine a student's success, scholarships, and the colleges they attend. The ACT is a 3.5 hour long standardized test that tests a student's knowledge in math, reading, science, and English. For 3.5 hours, a student is forced to be put in a room for 3.5 hours with very minimal breaks, stuck in one spot with an anxiety-induced test. This test is basically all skill level and only determines a student's test-taking ability. The test does not determine how well a student does in class, their personality, how driven they are, and if they're motivated inside of the classroom. It only determines how well they are at taking a standardized test. Many factors come into play when a student is taking the ACT or preparing to take the ACT. Many students spend months and tons of money paying tutors, finding books, and other resources to help them prepare for the ACT. In other cases, students may not have the abilities or resources to access advanced resources in helping them succeed for the test. Many students can't afford a tutor or books to help them study, and that leaves them at a disadvantage for the test. Many students also experience other disadvantages because of anxiety, nervousness, and feeling unprepared for the test. I remember as a student, it was very anxiety induced. Every time I took the ACT, I had a ton of anxiety of who was going to be in my room due to taking the ACT at different schools. I didn't know the people around me. I didn't know what was going to be on the test. Did everything I do for the past 6 months even matter in helping me to prepare? You face a lot of anxiety as a student for this test because the double-digit number you get is what determines your scholarships, what schools accept you, and how well you perform on this test. Now, many colleges are starting not to require you to put your ACT score down, leaving this as another reason why students shouldn't have to take it or make it depend on their success. Colleges say it doesn't show the type of student a person is based on just a score. All of these factors combined show why the ACT doesn't determine a student's drivenness, ability, how they are in the classroom. A student could have a great GPA, but since they're not great at sitting for 3.5 hours test taking on subjects, doesn't mean that they're a bad student. Students face these challenges all the time, and many perfect straight A students only score about a 15 to 20 on the ACT. Other students who are great at test taking often succeed, but they could have a lower GPA. I just believe that the ACT does not determine a student's worth, ability, how they are in the classroom, and what they bring to the table, and I think colleges should take definitely a deeper dive into knowing the students they accept and not just base it on a double-digit number from a standardized test.